They are moving the money right now. While you're watching this video, while you're scrolling through your phone, while you're deciding whether to click away or keep listening, the largest wealth transfer in human history is already happening. And 99% of humanity has no idea where that wealth is going. Why does this matter to you? Because this isn't just about numbers. It's about the future of your wealth. The next few years will determine whether you capitalize on this $45 trillion wealth transfer or watch it slip through your fingers. The people who understand where this money is headed are positioning themselves to become generationally rich, while everyone else is left behind, watching their inheritance evaporate. Here's the shocker. Silver, currently priced at $89.22 per ounce, is not the peak of this market. It's just the beginning. What's coming next will completely change the game. Stick with me, and I'll show you why this is the biggest wealth opportunity of our lifetime, and why you need to act now before it's too late. Right now, on January 18th, 2026, a seismic shift is happening. 45 trillion is about to pass from one generation to the next, from baby boomers to Gen X and Millennials. And it's not just a random event. This is a massive coordinated wealth shift, and it's happening at an unprecedented pace. What's even crazier, this transfer isn't happening slowly. It's front-loaded. That means it's already speeding up, and it's about to hit you, whether you're prepared or not. According to experts, in just the next 10 years, $45 trillion is expected to flow into younger generations. That's $4.5 trillion every year, or $375 billion every month. It's so much money that your brain can't even process it all at once. Now, here's the real kicker. That $45 trillion is being inherited in today's dollars, but the dollar is collapsing. Inflation is eating away at your inheritance right now. The dollar is dying. And unless you're in the right position, that money will be worth a fraction of its current value by the time it reaches you. What are you going to do about it? Let's talk about the real reason. This wealth transfer is going to change everything, and why it's already too late for most people. The U.S. national debt has just crossed $38 trillion. That's more than the entire GDP of the United States. And guess what? The government isn't just spending money. They're borrowing just to pay the interest on that debt. So what happens next? They can't pay it back. They won't. The only way out of a debt spiral is either a complete default, which would instantly destroy the currency, or they'll inflate the currency away. And inflation means your inheritance gets eaten alive by a devalued dollar. This is not some what-if scenario. This is happening right now. Just last month, the Federal Reserve injected $51 billion into the banking system in just 72 hours to prevent a financial collapse. That's money printed out of thin air. When the Fed prints more money, every single dollar loses value. So what happens when they need to print trillions to handle that $38 trillion debt? Your $45 trillion inheritance is already at risk. Now, let's step back and look at how this is all playing out and why the situation is escalating faster than you realize. Historically, this kind of debt spiral has ended one of two ways. Either the government defaults or they print more money. But here's the issue. We're already seeing the signs. The Federal Reserve isn't just printing money to cover debt. They're doing it to prop up the system. And each time they do, the value of the dollar takes another hit. This is where it gets even more dangerous. Every financial crisis, every bailout, every crisis management tactic they use only accelerates the destruction of the dollar. It's no longer a slow burn. We're in the fast lane. And in the past, it was easy to assume that the system would always work itself out. But that's exactly what normalization has done. It's turned something that should terrify us, this constant devaluation, into something we just accept. But this time, it's different. You can't afford to sit back and assume things will work themselves out this time. Let me show you something that should shock you. The evidence is clear. The wealth transfer happening right now is not just about cash flowing from one generation to the next. It's about the key shift to hard assets. And we're talking about massive moves into gold, silver, and real estate. Here's the twist. While gold is hitting all-time highs, silver is the real story. As of today, silver is trading at $89.22 per ounce. But that price is not the peak. It's the bottom. What does that mean for you? It means that right now, silver is massively undervalued. The price is artificially low, held down by a market that doesn't reflect the fundamental realities of supply and demand. Silver is in short supply, and the shortage is only growing. In fact, the power market gaps is so big, it's almost impossible to imagine the consequences. But here's the real shocker. When silver hits its fair value, around $200 an ounce, those who act now will be sitting on massive gains. People who bought silver at $80, they could see returns not over 100% of ours in the next 2 years. This isn't speculation. This is the result of a cast or severe supply shortage and incredible industrial demand, Varquarks Weavers, that's already pushing prices higher. Every ounce of silver you can get your hands on right now is like a ticket to the biggest wealth opportunity you'll ever see. Let's stack the pressure even higher. The silver shortage isn't just a theoretical problem. It's already happening, and it's affecting every part of the market. The silver that's supposed to be available for investment, it's disappearing fast. In the last year, the U.S. Mint has suspended all silver product sales for the first time in modern history, citing unprecedented demand. And this wasn't just a small blip. It's part of a larger pattern. The Mint can't even source enough silver to meet its needs. Meanwhile, the institutional players like JP Morgan are gobbling up massive amounts of silver. On January 7th, 2026, the bank took 8.1 million ounces, almost the entire January delivery. Why? Because they know exactly what's coming. They're buying the metal before the supply completely runs out. And this is not normal. This is panic buying, hence a last-ditch effort by the financial elites to secure physical silver before it's too late. And if you're waiting for silver to pull back to $70 or $75, guess what? It's not going to happen. The people in the know are already buying, and you're running out of time to join them. Let's bring this back to you. Because while we're talking about massive wealth transfers and financial institutions buying up silver, what does this mean for ordinary people? If you're inheriting wealth, whether it's $500,000, $1 million or more, the choices you make today could be the difference between preserving that wealth and watching it disappear. Right now, if you leave your inheritance in a savings account or traditional financial assets, you're losing. Imagine this. You inherit $500,000 and you decide to leave it in a savings account earning 5%. What happens? Inflation is running at 8 or 12%, so your money is actually losing value each day. Meanwhile, the stock market is at all-time highs. Do you really trust it to keep going up? Bonds yield next to nothing, while inflation eats away at their value. But if you buy hard assets, like silver, you're not just protecting your wealth, you're growing it. At $89 an ounce, silver is still underpriced relative to its true value. And if silver hits $200, like many experts predict, it would turn that $500,000 inheritance into 1.1 million. Imagine that, taking an inheritance that's supposed to preserve wealth and growing it instead. If this feels familiar, say so in the comments, because this is the choice we all face. Now let's move beyond the immediate panic and look at what's really driving all of this. Because the silver shortage isn't some random event. It's the result of deeper-based systemic forces at play. This is about incentives, race, leverage, and the spectacles of money printing. Why isn't the government or financial system doing anything to stop this? The answer is simple. They don't want to. As the dollar loses value, the government benefits from inflation. It's the only way to handle a debt that's spiraling out of control. They are incentivized to print more money because the alternative, default, is far worse. The currency devaluation is actually by design. And what does that mean for you? It means the system is rigged to favor those who own hard assets. People with silver, gold, and real estate, assets that can't be printed and are going to come out on top. The rest of the population who are stuck in paper assets will watch their savings be wiped out by inflation, taxation, and a system that's built to just destroy purchasing power. This is not conspiracy theory. It's the cold, hard reality of how the financial system works. The people who control wealth are not only protected, they're repositioning themselves to profit even more. And if you don't understand this shift, you're going to get left behind. So where do we go from here? What happens next? Well, it's not as simple as a straight path forward. There are two possible futures, both of which are already taking shape, and you need to pay attention. On one hand, we could see continued inflation and a further devaluation of the dollar. As the government prints more money to cover the national debt, the value of the dollar will keep shrinking. This would cause hard assets, or like silver, gold, and real estate to skyrocket. If you own these assets, you could see massive returns as the dollar continues its decline. Silver, for example, could easily rise to Dow $200 or even higher values in the next 12 to 24 months. On the other hand, if the system begins to crack too much, if confidence in paper assets completely collapses, there could be a massive shift toward tangible physical assets. The demand for silver could explode. And once the supply runs out, the price could reset to levels never seen before. The silver market is already showing signs of a supply shortage. And as the $45 trillion wealth transfer accelerates, the demand for physical silver will only increase. But here's the kicker. The next few years will determine which path we take. The $45 trillion wealth transfer is not just an abstract concept. It's already happening. And the people who position themselves now buying silver and other hard assets are the ones who will stand to benefit. The final truth you need to understand is simple. This moment is now. The $45 trillion wealth transfer is happening right now, and every decision you make today will either put you in position to profit or leave you watching from the sidelines as your wealth vanishes. Silver at $89.22 per ounce is not expensive. It's a gift, a rare opportunity that might never come again. In the coming months, as the supply dwindles and the demand skyrockets, that $89 price tag could seem laughable. Imagine watching silver hit $200, $300 or more, and realizing you had the chance to buy it for a fraction of that. The people who are buying silver now, who are securing hard assets while they can, are the ones who will come out ahead. But those who wait, who believe they have time, or who listen to analysts telling them it's overvalued, will be left with nothing when the paper markets collapse. So ask yourself, are you going to position yourself to win, or are you going to let this chance slip away? Because once the silver market runs dry, once the mints are empty and the dealers are sold out, there will be no more opportunities to buy at these prices. It will be too late. The $45 trillion wealth transfer is here. The question is, will you be part of it?